So
Woo, that was exciting.
our emergency's over.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Crazy.
That's what it's like. That's what it's been like here for the last few days. That was the first one we got. That was a
Yeah.
little bit scary.
Yeah. I was like, is there a fire
Yeah,
alarm?
we did stop down for a hot second to
No.
watch the news and see what they were saying because that one, again, like I said, we're boxed in by
Yeah.
all these. Now there's another one to the what? It's kind of what
It's a,
northwest of us.
yes, northwest of us.
Yeah, and sadly, in the hillside, I will never live in the hills because of this very reason out here. Because everything is dry and there's fires and stupid stuff happening.
Yeah. I have friends that live off of Nicholas Canyon
Oh wow.
last night.
Hmm.
And I was like, are you okay? And it was like, oh, I was up every hour,
I
you
had
know.
three friends who evacuated because they're all kind of like in that area where the fire was coming down. So they evacuated to other friends' house. One friend, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Grove, which is a big shopping place in Hollywood," and her friend lives near there. But I'm kind of like, "From where you live, and that it's not that far, but okay." But
They
then
said
they
traffic was awful.
Oh yeah, it's like you every single street, and that's the other problem when this stuff is happening, and they're like, you've got to evacuate. That's why people, they'd evacuated and left their cars because they saw the fire coming so fast. They just bailed on the cars because you can't get through.
Right.
Again, it's like every disaster movie you see when people are trying to leave town. It's like they're back. It makes me think of the Independence Day
Right.
when everybody's trying to leave New York and they're stuck, and they look and they see everything starting to blow up, and the guy's like, ah.
I think Steve Guttenberg was on television asking people to,
Hmm.
if you leave your car,
Yeah.
leave your keys in it so you can move it.
Yeah,
Because,
because he was trying to move cars for
yes.
people. That's another chance, though, where some of these opportunists are kind of like, oh, wait, hey, all these people are leaving their cars and they're
Yeah.
open. Let's go. And it's just kind of like, again, there's a special kind of hell for these people
Yeah.
that just want to take advantage of this situation
And
instead of
my old boss
helping.
will be in that hell. No,
Oh,
just kidding. No, just kidding.
no names.
No names. What job? I won't tell you. Oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's just, but at least there are people out there trying to do stuff. Like he posted that, which was nice. I'm trying to remember. There was another actor who was on talking about losing his home because he was in the Palisades, and he's like, the day before the fires, I was swimming and things were fine, and now here we are, 24 hours later, and we have nothing.
Well, what were they saying? How many football fields per minute? 5 football fields a minute were burning. That's how
Hmm.
quickly it was
Yeah.
burning. That's huge.
Well, I watched it on the news yesterday from the moment the one in Hollywood started, and it looked like just like one of our typical little, here's a little fire that got a little out of control. And within 15 minutes, it had escalated all down the hillside
Yeah.
because we're still having a little bit of wind. I mean, luckily it's calmed down a bit today
Yeah.
so that the helicopters and the emergency we just looked at, their helicopters are refueling and they have a really good handle on it with the fire retardant being put down and everything. Um, but when those winds are kicked up, like that was the whole problem with this starting is that they couldn't get the helicopters up
Yeah.
and they couldn't get water and they couldn't start spraying the areas. So it just took
Well, it
off.
was so windy that night.
Yeah.
It was like hurricane winds
Yeah.
blowing. It was crazy. My chime Are my chimes driving you crazy, by the
I was
way?
going to ask you if mine are driving you crazy because I had three of them and I have some glass ones in the back. I made sure I took those down. But it was nuts after that first big windstorm because not only are there palm trees around here, it pulled off every dead
Oh,
palm branch,
I
which is
know.
in my backyard, which is why when you were asking, can I use your trash can? I'm like, no, I have a pile of palm fronds that are going to have to get cut up and put in the bin
Those
because
are tough to cut too,
yeah, and they
because I
asked
was
me,
doing
they
it.
were like, "What do you want to do with these?" I said, "Just put them in a pile in the driveway until we keep getting to where we're putting them in the bin, let trash pick it up, and we'll just keep going."
Yeah.
I said, "That's fine." But my ladder, like my metal ladder that's not that light that was behind my shed, had been picked up and moved to behind my garage. It just like the wind just threw it.
It was crazy.
The things that got moved, like chairs that are in different parts of my yard, and I was just like, this is
Like
like
someone's planter wound up in
surreal.
my yard. I'm like, whose is
Was it
this?
nice? Did you keep
No,
it?
it
Oh,
wasn't nice. I threw it away.
oh. I
It
was gonna
was,
say it was
no,
decent. You just
no,
gained a planter.
it's not my taste. Oh,
It was not from my favorite store.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just I can't believe like this is where we're at.
I know.
And we're just I said to Phil, I said, okay, it's about time to start looking at where else we're gonna live. We got to find some place else to go
Well, I've
because
been.
I feel like it keeps getting worse.
It does.
Like last year, I don't think it was as bad as the year before because we at least had some rain and stuff. We have had no rain this year. So if we don't get any in the next few months, this is going to be part two
Yeah.
next year. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be here for
I
this.
keep Googling, um, where is safest place to live away from natural disasters?
And where is it?
You know where Michigan is a big place?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like Chicago area, like
Mm-hmm.
all in there. That seems to be the
The
place
place,
that's safe from
as
everything.
long as you can handle the cold in
Yeah,
the
but I
winter.
don't go to like.
Chicago, Michigan, shout out to us. Let us know.
So
Let
then
us
I'll
know how
Google.
it
Is
is.
there a warm place that is safe to live? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
A bunch of people who tell me though, Arizona, they're like, if you can handle the few months that it's just unbearable heat,
Hot.
then the rest of the time it's great. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Well, I was thinking about that. That's why I
Hmm.
want to go out there. But then I'm like, is Arizona where they have like nuclear tests? Is that where they keep all like
I thought
those
that was
silos and stuff?
Nevada. I don't know, like Area 51, that type of stuff.
Is that Nevada? Area
I think that's
51?
near. I think that's near Vegas. It's outside of Vegas. I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so stay away
but
from
they
that.
have scorpions. I think in Arizona and
Scorpions,
snakes.
rattlesnakes. I'm like, oh man,
Hmm.
that's not cool for
I
me.
know there's just so many things, so many factors to take into account when you're like, I want to live somewhere else, but I can't
Yeah,
handle this, and I can't handle this,
I
and I
don't want
can't
that.
handle this.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want humidity. And
Yeah,
oh,
I don't want to have humidity. I don't want a bunch of bugs. Can't handle a whole lot of snow. Can't get too cold.
there's like
Can't
no
get too
place.
hot.
You know what has very similar
Hmm.
to weather like us here in LA? Spain.
Oh yeah, lots
They
of
say
people
it's
talking
very the
about
same.
Spain. Yeah,
So let's go to
let's
Spain.
go to Spain. Let's just start traveling and find our place.
Hola, Spaniards!
There's Babel for a reason.
Yes.
Babel is there for a reason.
Gracias, Bubble. That commercial, did you ever see it? Mom was like, Gracias, Bubble.
Roll your R's.
I'm good at rolling my R's. It's the Polish in me. Now some
Oh,
people
you're good
can't
at
do
it.
it. I'm very good at rolling the
You wouldn't go
R's.
back to Poland?
I was looking.
Really?
I actually was looking since my dad was Polish
Mm-hmm.
to get dual citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the rule is, from what I've been looking, uh, my father would have had to have been still a Polish citizen when I was born,
Mm,
and he was an American citizen already by then.
gotcha.
So I
All
think
these
that's
little
the
rules they put in there.
yeah. I'm like, well, does grandparents help? Does that work? Because if you get a dual citizenship to Poland, Poland's part of the
Mm-hmm.
European Union,
Mm-hmm.
so you could work in London, wherever,
Yeah.
which would be great.
Phil's sister was looking into them because they're Italian, getting the dual citizenship in Italy, which would be kind of cool. And we were watching the things where people buy the really cheap houses in Italy and then fix
Yeah,
them up, and how you can do that without getting the $1 really crap ones, but one that's halfway decent and what that would be. And yeah.
yeah. I know. I'm so torn because I'm so American. I want to
Hmm.
say, people are like, oh, move to Mexico. It's like, I don't know if I want to go live in Mexico.
You have
Or
to, I think no matter where you move, if you're going to do international, you have to have a really open mind and just be like, okay, there are certain things you are not going to get. There are certain things that will not be the same. You just have to get in that mindset of being able to go with the flow. And that's what some of these people that have moved to these countries, like a woman that moved to Italy said, she goes, you have to let go of certain things because otherwise then you're miserable because you're missing the things you didn't have and you get upset. And you can't do that. You really have to go with an open mind and say, okay, so I can't get my favorite peanut butter here, but they do have this instead.
I'm pretty open minded. Like I had this like dream job. I was like, oh my god, if I go to Mexico, I could be on like a soap opera there,
Mm-hmm.
and since I can't speak
Be
Spanish,
the token American.
I could be like an American who loses his memory and just wakes up and is in Mexico somewhere on soap opera, and it'll be freaking fantastic because I'll be speaking English
Mm-hmm.
and learning Spanish, and the Spanish people will be learning English because I only speak English. So it'll be like, oh my God, I'm helping the world
I thought you were going to say,
on my soap
I
opera.
thought you were going to say, I'll be learning Spanish and speaking English, and they'll be making fun of me in Spanish
I'm
because
sure they would
I
be.
don't know what I'm saying.
But isn't that a great idea?
Yeah,
See?
there you go.
It'll bridge the two countries together.
Well, my friend Sally is like, there's amazing places in Mexico too.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a matter of if us as Americans haven't pissed off everybody.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, we're taking over Greenland.
Oh, yeah, we're
We're
gonna buy it. We're gonna buy it.
and the Panama Canal,
Oh yeah,
and we're
we're
just
buying
going
that back because apparently they get a good deal for that. So
and we're just going
here we
to.
go again.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
What is going on?
Well, see, fun never
Never
ends. So we just
ends.
get another one telling us to disregard the one they gave us. What, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So okay, we're okay. We're gonna
We're
live.
safe.
We're not gonna catch on fire now.
I was ready to get the and hose you
And
down.
hose, I
Oh my God,
know.
that would be fun. Can we go do that? I'll hose you down and let people watch.
Only if I can then take the hose and hit you right back.
Don't mess
I
with my
said,
hair.
I know. It took you so long. It looks
I
fun.
cut my own hair. How does it look?
Oh, wow, really?
I did.
Oh, it looks good.
Does it?
I was
Don't
about
look,
to
don't
say.
look too hard.
Oh, no, it
But
looks
yeah,
good. You did a good job.
I know, and it was bad because like I
Did you cut it before
I've
last
been
time
cutting
you?
my hair too,
Okay.
but doing the back is always because I can't see what I'm doing,
Yeah.
so it's just like I do it and hope for the best. So you could tell me after when I turn around if I'm all right.
No, I think it looks good. There was one time you cut it, and it was really, really short on the sides, and
Yeah,
then
I chopped in a
you
little
look
too
like
far.
you look like those little kids like from the 40s and 50s when parents just shaved it around the side but left like a little bit around here.
That's me, the
Yeah,
little kid.
but now it looks good. It looks like you did an even job. I like it.
Thank you. Do you want me to cut your hair?
No.
Come on.
No.
I'm a good hair cutter.
No, these bangs take forever for me to get, and no.
Maybe that's what I'll start a business. It'll be called the
Bad haircuts.
Unlicensed Hair Cutter. I cut your hair at your risk.
Bad cuts. Bad cuts on purpose.
Yes.
I'll get an email saying, "Hey, we'd like to hear what your thoughts on whatever the service was, wherever you were."
No, you
And
don't.
I'm just like, I was like, really? Do you really want my opinion? But some of the stuff is like stupid. Like the other day, I got hey, we'd like your feedback. And it was for a bank, my bank. I'm not going to tell anybody who it is because I don't want anybody scoping on my accounts. But it was the bank. And I kept going, well, did I go in and talk to somebody? Did I actually have an interaction with a person? Like, was I on the, I don't remember calling them on the phone. And then when I clicked on it, it was like, we would like to hear about your ATM experience. And I was like, well, I didn't get robbed and it gave me my money. I guess it's good.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I think it goes to that whole thing. We've talked about this before about everybody gets a trophy. It's
Right.
like everybody needs to have their little ego stroked and their feedback and needs to be like, please like me. Please tell us we did good.
Tell us what you thought of the window cleaner.
Yeah.
It's window
It's
cleaner.
like,
I sprayed it and wiped
I sprayed it. I wiped it. My window's clean. Okay. Oh, hey, on Amazon. It's
Yeah.
funny what I got. It was just like, we'd like your feedback on your purchase. And I'm like, okay, well, I do purchase quite a few things at Amazon. Maybe it was, and I'm like, it's like tampons. I'm like, well, it didn't fall out. Like, size. Okay. It's like, what do you guys want me to tell you about it? I'm like, this is ridiculous. It really is. We are in a society of everybody needs reassurance.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to know something's okay. And the thing is if they want me to give a review, okay, fine, I'm going to give a real review. So we each ended up using the same tree trimmer. Recently, he come out, and there were 3 guys that came to give me a quote. One guy was really flaky, and then the other 2 showed up at the same time because the one didn't tell me when they were coming, and that was my bad, scheduling them on the same day. But they showed up at the same time, and I thought, oh gosh, and they knew each other. But the one guy was super nice and kind of went off to the side, and the other guy, gave his spiel. And it was like the one guy was 3 times more. And so, of course, I'm trying to save money because, things being the way they are. And the guy came, he did a really good job, but they showed up
at my house. And I didn't call you to say, what were you charged? And he, of course, instead of giving me an estimate, was like, what do you want to pay?
I know. And that's like a cop out. That's like you should know what you're going to charge for something and say it up front, and then we negotiate.
Oh,
Don't wait for me to say because, and that's hard because then you end up like
well, and
overbidding
what I do is,
yourself.
oh, well, last time I had it done a few years ago, I think I paid this amount.
Hmm.
So I said that, and then he comes in and says, well, it was a few years ago, so he upped it a little bit. And I went, yes, but then I found the receipt, and it was like, oh, it wasn't just those two trees;
It was
it
the
was the
other two
orange tree.
tree.
They removed this and that, and
Yeah,
that, and so I was like, darn it, I should have been like 300. I should have started three hundred
low.
dollars
You always
lower.
go low and
But
up.
I'm an idiot, So there you have it. Here, take my money. Ah!
But then like you were good because you're like, oh, I already gave him his review, and then they sent me the thing, and I said I'm gonna wait a second because I had to think about how I was gonna write it because the only thing that bugged me was that they did an amazing job, but they didn't call because they said, okay, we'll start at 8 and it'll be after, but we'll give you a 30-minute window, which I need because I wanted to like make sure everything was out of their way, cleaned up.
The
And
one
then
dude fell out of the tree, right?
no, I don't think he fell out of the tree.
He was laying on the ground
No,
screaming.
he fell at the truck.
Oh, at the truck.
At
He
the truck
okay.
because so when they said they were going to give me a heads up, they didn't. Like they showed up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was still in bed. The dogs start barking. I freak up. I jump out of bed. I run to the door. I open the door. Then all of a sudden, I'm surprised you didn't hear my alarm going whoop whoop whoop
I didn't.
blaring. Got that turned off. Finally went and I'm like in my pajamas, like looking haggard. And I was like, what? They're like the tree. And I said, you guys were supposed to give me a 30-minute heads up. So I kind of got myself a little bit together, went out, moved my car so they could move the driveway and stuff. And the guy was like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, "Hi," and it's the owner. He comes out, for the day. He actually does the work, which is nice for a change. I was just like, I thought I was going to get a call before you came, or at least a heads up, and I was told 8 o'clock. And I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, it's like yeah, 7 o'clock, 7:15 right now. He goes, I'm so sorry. So he was really apologetic, but he was
Right.
like, I'm going to send a thing for you to give a review if you don't mind. I'm like, okay. I said, but I will put everything in the review. He goes, it's fine. I'm like, okay, as long as you're ready. Because I was like, they did do a good job. My trees look nice and they're going to be healthy. I said, but, when you tell people a certain time, have, your customer service person. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think like his wife is his person, like the manager person, because they are a mom and pop startup thing. So I'm kind of like, you better get her on board with how to, do this for customers.
It's
But
funny. They
but
asked
the
me
guy, but it was funny because you mentioned the guy. It was because he was like one little guy kept carrying branches that were too big for him, and I
the
think
real
he was,
skinny little one.
yeah, the little skinny guy. And then I mean, the branch was as big as him, and he's trying to get stuff in the truck, and I think he slipped off the truck, and I heard him yell, and I'm like, nobody's coming. I go running outside. I'm like, are you okay? Like, what happened? And of course, in my head, California. I'm like, don't sue me, don't sue me,
Yeah.
don't sue me, don't sue me. And he's like, no. And I think the poor guy was more embarrassed than anything else,
He
but.
was like sitting at one point, and like I went, I offered them like if they wanted something to drink or whatever. So then,
No, I've got to be the good guy.
yeah,
Oh, hey, you want a drink?
I
Oh,
did. I was like,
I'm Peter. I'm the host with the
I
most.
try. So anyway, uh, then they just wanted water, and I said, "Well, I've got other stuff too."
Hmm.
No, no, flat water is good. And I only had one plastic bottle, so he was like, "I'll give that to the boss." The guy sitting in the car, I'll give it to him. And the two workers, I gave like glass things, but they were so. Both of them were like, "Oh, we have to get like the good thing to the boss in the car."
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Take it
What is he?
yourself."
Taskmaster? What is going on
Yeah,
here?
he was just in the car while they were doing the work,
Yeah.
and it was hot that day.
Yeah.
I didn't realize because it's cooler in the house,
Hmm.
and it's poor little dudes,
Yeah.
you know. But they did
I'm
a good
glad they
job.
did it though before we started getting those wins
I know,
because I
because my
can't
tree would have
imagine
fallen on your
your tree would
car.
have fallen on my car. My branches would have been
We would have
busted through
hated
my
one another because
house.
you'd be
We
like,
would
"Why you're paying for this?"
not friends anymore. It was just like, I was so glad that all of the stuff in mine got done. And like I said, the only thing in my yard were palm fronds that had come off of all the trees everywhere.
Were you here when the tree fell on my car, or were you already
Yes.
gone?
No, I was
Was before
here.
you? Yeah,
Yeah. Because we
that was
heard it
bad.
because it sounded like an
Well,
explosion.
I was, and then yeah, I was like, "Oh, is that an earthquake
And I
kind of
looked
thing?"
out and I was just like, wait, that, wait,
And then
there's
I
a
go like to the front to see,
tree on his
and
car.
like I didn't see a tree, and I just saw all the neighbors like
And I don't think I had your information, but I knew Terry, and I was just like, does he know there's like a tree on his car?
it was awful. It was a bad scene,
Yeah, I
man.
know. That's why
And
I'm
that
just
wasn't
like,
even an
keep it
old
trim.
car. I like that car too.
Aw. I don't know either.
Tell me where to move, Stace.
I don't know. I gotta look it up too. We're thinking.
But you don't mind going somewhere where it's colder.
No, I do. I don't like the cold.
But
The cold is not a favorite place. Like if I could handle the cold, I would in a heartbeat move to Scotland. I love Scotland. I think it's so great. The people are wonderful. It's just, the architecture, the cities, the towns. I would love it.
and I don't think I'm
We
a
went
gloominess
but
either.
we went like in June. I think it was June. It was when Connor had just gotten out of school. He graduated high school, and that was his big trip. And we went, and it was cold.
In June?
Yes, I was like wearing like like a puffer jacket, because apparently it gets warmer like a little bit later, but it doesn't. You don't get that much.
I
So,
love Braveheart.
oh gosh, it's so fun. It's so fun there. It is like seriously my favorite country. I love it so much. But I don't know if I could live there. And everybody's like, you get used to it. You get used to it. I'm like, would I?
I don't think my lungs would like it.
But you know what? It was nice. It was like fresh air.
Not like our air here.
No, especially now, our toxic air. It's even in New York. We went recently for the holidays for Phil's family. It it's breathing in cold air. I don't know. It rejuvenates, I think, in your body, and I don't know. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So,
do say it is cleansing and stuff
hmm
because hot air breeds like,
bacteria and bad
hmm
stuff. So, yeah, I think there may be something to it.
are we going to the
We
cold?
might need to look at the cold now. My friend lives up in Nevada City in Northern California,
And it
and
gets
it
cold
gets
then.
cold. Yeah, they get
Yeah,
snow. I mean,
yeah.
but it's mild. Like I actually could do that. That would be like livable because it's not all of the time, and you get a sense of seasons. So, and she's like an hour outside of Lake Tahoe,
Which is pretty up
so it's
there.
pretty. It's really pretty. But in the past they've had the fires up there too. So it's just kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's going to be the next basically fire zone? Right now it's us.
right.
So,
Fire,
yeah.
drought, hurricanes, tornadoes. Uh,
Floods,
like no place is safe to live.
floods, like brutal cold. I know there was that one year where Chicago, they showed people walking around and they literally had icicles off of their like mustaches wherever there
Yeah,
was like moisture from like exhaling or breathing out. They started having ice crystals on stuff, and I'm like, okay, then that's severe cold.
that's severe cold.
So really, it's like where is the least natural disaster, best temperature,
It's 60 in
cost of
Nevada.
living? Like seriously, you need to start researching like outside, like where you're gonna go.
Well, it looks like, look at the sky over there. It's
I know
all red.
it's all, yeah, it's orange. It's disgusting brown. It's smog brown disgust.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And we pay how much to live here?
I know. I know. But
Ridiculous.
it's great if anyone wants to buy a house.
Yeah, there might be quite a few on the market coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It probably will be,
I
right?
bet. Mm.
Yeah.
Obviously, this topic of what we're dealing with the fires and stuff, it is another stage of grief for people because it's a loss. Whether it's, a human, a family member, a friend, your pet, that should pass away and you don't have anymore. Losing a job is a sense of grief, and seriously losing your security, the roof over your house,
I, what
is a huge grief
what I'm going through right
factor.
now, and I don't know, and is it something physically wrong with me or am I just depressed? I don't know. Like I'm feeling like I'm dying inside or I'm losing that will to live kind of thing.
Mm,
Like I've always been an optimistic person. Like I always, it's gonna be okay. I know things are gonna happen for me. Like I was always like, no matter what, I always believed that. And I think for the first time in my life, I'm thinking it may not be okay,
mm.
and it's freaking me out.
And it should be concerning because it's a place you get when it's like nothing is working.
Yeah,
And like there were a couple of days recently where it feels like, what's going on? I kept having headaches and stuff, and it physically manifests in you, so that you do end up with physical symptoms. And I posted a video recently on the stuff about mom where it seems like a lot of stuff has finally kind of worked its way out of my system. I'm still dealing with intestinal issues. It was weird because when we were in New York, I was drinking Brita water, making sure I was eating like in a much better place mentally because I wasn't having to worry about anything else. I wasn't worried about paying my mortgage. I was just like, okay, we're here for family and it's the holiday. And I think I let myself relax a little bit and everything started kind of getting back to normal. So I was like, okay, things are kind of normal now. Came back within 2 days, bam, it's like almost right back. And I told Phil, I said, it's stressful because it is. It's this feeling of hopelessness.
Right.
Like, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to take care of things? Am I physically going to be okay?
Right. And I'm telling, like, and it is manifesting in actual physical. I'm feeling like sometimes I'll go to, like, I feel like my heart's just going to stop beating.
Hmm.
It's just the oddest thing. And I don't
And
know.
you
Is
were
like,
saying you went to the emergency
yeah.
that time, and they were like, it's stress. Like, there's nothing like physically flaring up that they could see that's wrong with you. It's stress.
And if I'm busy, if my mind is occupied,
Hmm.
it's fine. But when you don't have anything and
Yeah.
no prospects, like nothing's looking good. And then you're hearing more and more people are suffering from the same thing. Like
Hmm.
at a Christmas party, a guy that I know, his wife was telling me he had lost his job. It took him 2 years to find a job. I
And did
talked
he
to,
find? And did he find it within the same area that he was already working, or did he find something
he
completely different?
did, it was in the same area, but
Okay.
he's starting at the bottom of the barrel. It's like starting all over again.
Hmm.
You know, there's other people I know that are like, they're ready to retire. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Hmm.
And I need to start.
Like finding a job.
I'm like, I'm going to be that 80-year-old man bagging your groceries at the grocery store. If I can find a job in a grocery store,
Hmm.
it's very odd to me
Yeah.
to be in this kind of
And I
position.
feel like so many people are there, especially in our industry, in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry, that are just kind of like, what can I do now?
Yeah.
Because there is nothing coming down the pike for me in this area, and I need to have a paycheck. So where do I go?
Right.
And that's what most of the message boards out here are for. People are like, well, hey, it's been this long since I haven't worked, so what is everybody else doing to supplement? What is anybody else switching your career
Right.
to have an idea? I mean, seriously, I wish in college I'm like, wow, shit, why didn't I go into business or something where
I know.
it's going to sustain?
Right.
Find something that's going to continue on, but
Psychology. I could have been a therapist. Lots of people need therapy here in California. So I was like, darn it, why didn't I do that?
I know it is finding something out here because it seems like there's almost something that anybody and everybody in California needs.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know
I,
either.
and then you know, when you're looking in so many different directions, oh, what about if I do this? Or what if I do that? Oh, I could do that. I could do that. So you're pushing out there all these
Hmm.
things. Is that the problem? Because you're not focusing in one
And
direction
something
only?
specifically.
And then the other part's like, well, I'll be an actor. Like, it's like, yeah, well, you're a little old, right? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I
I'm
don't
going
know
crazy.
either
See, but you're sane at least.
for now. So you think I am?
Oh, please. You got a lover that you're engaged to. You're going to get married. You see, look at all those good things you've got
No,
happening.
but that's like double stress then.
Your son's
It's
going to
just like
graduate in 2 years and you could
hopefully
kick
the
him out of
son
the
hopefully
house.
the son graduates and gets a really good mechanical engineering job and then is able to help take care of mom because
And her next door neighbor, Peter.
and her neighbor Peter. He'll he'll be the one that finances our whole compound
That's good.
that we want to move to.
He could
He can
build it
engineer
too.
it.
Yeah.
He can engineering our supplies for everything.
And your and my
Engin-
house will be the biggest from all of our friends.
We have the fancy ones.
With the pool closest to our Oh,
It's a crazy time right now. It really, really is.
it is like when you were a kid. What was your dream? Did you have a dream? What's your dream? Everyone who comes to
Everyone
Hollywood has a
has a
dream.
dream.
What's
What's
your
your
dream?
dream? Oh my gosh. When I was younger, it's like I thought I wanted to be an actress. I thought I wanted to act. I mean, I would like do these little plays and play out everything, and then it shifted. I think when I was in high school, by the time I was in high school, I didn't even really know I thought I wanted to do like veterinary medicine for a while. That I should have done. I should
Yeah.
have stuck with veterinary medicine because, geez, that's about
Those
as
dogs
bad.
can't complain.
It's about as bad as the doctors, though.
Yeah.
It's like for how much they get, it's just
Yeah.
like a human medical
Yeah.
professional. It's like, holy crap. Um, but then I couldn't stand blood. So I think having to do surgeries and stuff like that, I would not have appreciated. So I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. So, and then when I went to college, I think I didn't really, I think journalism, I was thinking, or like news type media. And then I ended up in mass communications and worked in the studio and worked at a radio station. And just kind of, as soon as I got out, it was like, worked at a radio station, worked master control for a television company, and then started doing tape to tape editing and closed captioning for a company that did OSHA videos and safety videos. And then just from there, everything just kind of merged to where I was just editing TV shows. So yeah, it was always a progression. And it's like until the strikes happened and until we had the pandemic, it was kind of like, oh, this is just going to keep on going.
I wish I had gotten into news broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I look now. At the time when I was younger, it was actor all the way kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I look now and be like, wow, I'd love to be a news reporter,
Yeah.
like a news anchor or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great job. But yeah, like I wouldn't want to go to like war torn countries. Like
No,
forget that. I could do
no, those
entertainment
guys.
news. Hello, what
Oh,
the fuck is going on in the world today? See, that's what my news station would be like. What the fuck is going on in the world today?
that would actually be a good. I'd watch that station. That's like a good station.
Yeah.
Start calling out stupid stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
There's a lot of
Especially,
that.
oh yeah, tons of it.
That's another show. I'd love to be a talk show person
Hmm.
and have a show. And you come on my show just because I've waited on a lot of celebrities. And it
Hmm.
was funny the other night when what was on the award show? The Golden Globes was on, and you know how like you sit there,
Wait, was it?
the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, because the Oscars were going to be next, or no, it was going to be the Critics' Choice, which they canceled for the weekend, and then yeah,
Okay, so the Golden,
okay.
and you know how like I sit there and I fantasize like
Hmm.
what I would say,
Hmm.
and I would call everyone out in that room is what I would love to do. I'd love to be like, I've waited on a lot of you, and you look through me as if I was knowing I'm the same person as I am
Hmm.
today as I was then, kind of thing.
Hmm.
But how we put celebrity in such a, I love the host when she said,
Oh, Nikki
the most
Glazer.
important people in the most important people of the world are here today. You know, like she was freaking great,
Nikki Glazer. She's funny, and she's
so
like
fun.
no holds barred. Will call
No,
people out.
and you know what? She's real too.
Hmm.
She's not put on at all. Like that's what I really really liked about her.
Hmm.
I dig this chick.
I want a show where they start calling out all the stuff that goes
Oh,
on behind the scenes that people don't know about.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got tons of stories. That's a whole. I want to write a book exposing
Hmm.
celebrities for what they really are.
Well, not just celebrities, some of
Oh
the companies and the businesses that are behind them.
yeah,
Like, I'm sorry, some of the award show stuff, because I think I had mentioned to you, like, the reason I was just like, I can't watch this because you're giving the best comedy award to someone who's not in a comedy. And you put that show into the category when it's
right,
not a comedy, when there were other people I feel that were more deserving because that is their chops. That is what they have been doing for all the years. In that moment, you invalidated what the show is for me because it made no sense, and it means somebody's in somebody's pocket or somebody put their 2 cents in and said this has to win.
well, I mean
That's how I feel about
the
it.
whole entertainment industry is very much like that.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Who knows who and who wants to do someone who a favor.
how many great movies you never even hear of,
Hmm.
how many great actors you never hear of.
Hmm.
Like, why is it the same people all the time that we're seeing,
Hmm.
whatever? Like, and as much as they say they want to keep it that way, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, they want it all to themselves. Why?
Yeah.
Why give it up? Like, okay, do stars need to be doing commercials? No. How much money do you need?
Hmm.
Like years ago, the little guy used to make a living from doing a commercial or
Yeah.
stuff like that, and now you've taken that away
They
from
were known
them.
as commercial actors, and
Yes,
that was their thing.
right. And now you've taken that away because now we have all these celebrities endorsing
Mm,
all these products on every commercial. Like cheesy ass commercials they're doing.
hmm.
Like, oh, those this app for this game or what, like
Yeah.
I'm like, is that
Is
yeah, it
that so and so?
is.
Yeah, it is.
It is
Oh my
like what
gosh.
are they like
Like how no, my first thought is how much are you getting paid for that?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Because
Probably more than like someone makes in a year
yeah,
for a salary, and
yeah,
that's ridiculous.
it is. It's stupid. Like, the greed and
Hmm.
it's like I don't know. Just give me $1 million. I'd be okay. I don't need.
As long as you're not living in California, you're okay.
Yeah,
Or New York.
yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Well, health insurance. Oh, that'll pay a year of your health
That
insurance.
you think?
Maybe
Just don't
not.
get sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, crazy
That's
stuff.
crazy.
Crazy world we're in. But
It's-
next time we get together, we'll dig into the pups and
okay.
see if we're still not burned.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back.
Hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay up to date on all new videos.